Shalom, welcome to Rob on the Rock. Here we are, day 21. We're going to look at Proverbs 21:3 in our march through Mishlei. And we're looking here at the Aleppo Codex. We're going to just start right here. This is the beginning of, and remember with Hebrew, we start at the right and go to the left like that. So we're going to start here, and it goes all the way to here. So the line starts here and ends here. Proverbs 21:3, and it begins, Aso tzedakah umishpat. Aso, this first word here is what we call an infinitive. It just means doing, the doing of, something like that, doing. And then we have our two nouns, our two super important biblical nouns, and I'll write them up here for you. The first is tzedakah. It's tzadi, dalet, kuf, hey, like that. Tzedakah, like that. Tzedakah. And that's often translated as righteousness. Tzedakah, righteousness. It's a term used in court. Tzedakah is the attribute of the innocent, the attribute of the person who has been vindicated from charges against them. They are innocent of charges. But it also can mean, tzedakah can just mean the quality of being righteous. That is the quality of being in relationship with God. Tzedakah. And then the doing, what is aso tzedakah? The doing of tzedakah then would be the doing of righteous deeds, deeds that are pleasing to God. The second word, it says aso tzedakah u mishpat. The mishpat is the second word here, and it's mem, shin, pei, tet, like that, and it's mishpat, like that. And it comes from the root shin, pei, tet, like that. Maybe you've seen that, shafat, which is to judge. But mishpat is the distinction or differentiation between good and evil. So when you're in a situation and people they don't know what good or evil is, it means there's no mishpat. There's no mishpat in that situation. Mishpat is a judgment that comes from God that clarifies in this world, it clarifies what is good and what is evil. So mishpat is the calling of tov, tov, and the calling of ra, ra. Not in what man wants to see and call good or light or sweet, but rather what God calls good, light, or sweet. We know in Isaiah 5, he says, woe to those who call good evil and evil good, etc. So the Bible is clear that humans over and over and over and over again get it wrong. We call things good that are not good. We call things evil that are not evil. And we need God's definition. So mishpat is God's definition of good and evil come into this world. And that's like light that shines, as Yeshua says in John 3. This is the judgment. Light has come into the world, etc. So tzedakah, mishpat. So the doing of tzedakah and mishpat is therefore walking with God. You can't do tzedakah, you can't do righteousness and judgment unless you're walking with the Lord in a loving relationship where you love him with all your heart and soul and strength. And you can't do that unless you love Yeshua and walk with him. So aso tzedakah umishpat, super precious to the Lord. And that's this next line here. I'll just zoom in on it. It says nivchar. Nivchar. So this nivchar means choice or chosen or precious. Nivchar la'Adonai mizavach. Mizavach. So mi is from. So this last word, mizavach, is min, like this, and that plus zevach, which is the word for sacrifice. Min zevach, at the end of the sentence, crushed together, it's mizavach. Nivchar ladonai mizavach. That means it is more precious to the Lord, it is more valuable to the Lord than sacrifices. Then zevach is than sacrifice. So the doing of tzedakah and mishpat, or the doing of righteousness and justice, is more valuable to God than sacrifice. And that means that asot tzedakah umishpat is on the par with loving God with all your heart and all your soul and your strength, loving your neighbor as yourself. Because upon those commandments, all the commandments are suspended or are contingent. And so here we have asot tzedakah umishpat, the doing of tzedakah and mishpat, nivchar ladonai mizavach, more precious to the Lord than sacrifice. This does not mean sacrifice is not precious to the Lord. It means that it's leveraging on the value of sacrifice and saying it's even more important than that. But it is essential. And as Yeshua talks to the scribe, we know, and the scribe asks first, what is the greatest commandment? Yeshua is to love God with all your heart and soul and strength, love your neighbors yourself. And the scribe replies, teacher, what you say is true. To love God with all the heart, soul, and strength is more precious than all whole burnt offerings and sacrifices. And of course, the whole burnt offerings and sacrifices is what opens the book of Leviticus. That's what the whole tabernacle of the Exodus, where God's holy presence was in the midst of his people. That whole burnt offerings and sacrifices are a crucial element to the worship of God and the recognition of his holiness. So here we are finishing day 21 of March through Mishlei. Shalom.